All right, good morning, traders. Today is September 9th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I am the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Hey, thank you, everybody out there in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Thank you for following my content, liking my content. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for all of that. Special shout out to Bob Jordan, John Jordan, Kathy, Sarah Roasted for sharing the content. Thank you for all the kind words. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. Thank you for following me on my trading journey. Appreciate that. I don't take that for granted. Again, just like my paying members, I try to provide actionable, profitable content every single day. Hey, let's go ahead and drill down, see what we got today. Yesterday was a good day. Hey, by the way, yesterday we started a new 27K account. All right, so let's take a look at the stats on that, see if I got it up and running. All right, so yesterday we lost $8 on one trade, made 102 on another, lost 58 on one trade, made 340 on another, and made 1,057 on another product. Okay, so winding up the beginning of the month on the first day. All right, we were only looking for $270 because that would be 10%, 1% of our 27K, which we started this account with. So we started with 27K. We only needed to make 1%, which was $270. We wound up with $1,435, well over in excess. So that's about, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 5%. I don't know. If I could get the calculator out, I could figure it out. But anyways, nice start for the day. So we have an excess of 1165 to add to our 1% for today for risk if I choose to do so. I have to stay on my 1% schedule. Okay, it's imperative that I stay on the 1% schedule. So I probably won't use all 1165 at risk. I will probably take maybe a quarter or a fifth of that, or excuse me, a quarter or half of that, and put that at risk, so that I can continue to grow the account faster. All right. The point of the 1% is after 70 days, I will have doubled my account. But let's just face it, okay? When you making 2, 3, 4% per day, you're going to get there a whole lot faster. Okay. So we'll see what happens. So we're off to a fantastic start with 1435 on the first day. So that was a nice day yesterday, and that was in the open house. And we did that live in front of visitors and traders in the room. Hey, good morning, KJ. All right, so there's the plan. There's the results from yesterday. Let's take a look at what we got here, okay? My SPY pivot this morning, 648.35. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Gold and FNGU made new all-time highs. IWM, SPY, QQQ, and Diamond Dow all made inside days. That's lower highs, higher lows. Lower highs, higher lows. Closing over bullish traps over their 17 EMAs. SPY closed with a 2-hour uptrend. Hey, we like that, don't we? And a 10-minute consolidation. It had a one candle uptrend. It's hard to call a one candle an uptrend, so I'm just going to call it 10-minute consolidation. Silver made a new 12-year high. USO still in a daily downtrend. Made a higher high and a higher low, closing under a bearish trap and under the 17 EMA. UNG made a higher high and a higher low, closing over a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. US dollar index still in a downtrend. Hey, as investors, we like that, but as consumers, it sucks, okay? Closed near the 97.56 area. SPY max pain for today, 647, with a put to call ratio of about 1.2 puts to each call that expires today at 4:15. Remember, those index options expire at 4:15. Securities options expire at 4. Main event this week is the CPI data release on Thursday at 8:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Traders would be wise to evaluate their positions and determine whether hedging is needed prior to the CPI data release. Okay, down here we got bulls and we got bears. The bulls, all right, are all in uptrends over the 17 EMA. The bears are all in downtrends under the 17 EMA. If it has a little star next to it, okay, then it's producing or constructing a launch pad, if it's under the bulls, a launch pad from which to launch higher, okay? If the star is no longer there, the launch already started, occurred, or we had a bearish engulfing, all right, which voids it out, okay? I don't do it for bearish. If it's a bearish engulfing, I take the star off because chances are it's heading back in the opposite direction. Okay, on the bear side, if it's got a little star next to it, right here, it's creating a platform or a floor from which to descend lower. Okay, so it's in the process of constructing a platform or a floor to descend lower. Okay, on the stars here. Okay, if the star is missing, the descent has already started. Either that or we got a bullish engulfing, which kind of voids the whole platform creation or construction process. Okay, so if it's got a star, notice KDP yesterday had a star yesterday, and now it doesn't have a star. Why? KDP is descending lower. Okay, there's another one, I think SG or ACI, one of these two, all right, already started to descend lower. I think one of them got a bullish engulfing and the other one started the descent. Okay, so right here. Okay, don't know what the options are. I prefer, again, I don't like big spreads, so I prefer the index options over the swing trades, okay, or I'm going to call these swing trades right here, okay. So I prefer the index options much more than the options in these individual stocks. It's not enough volume. I like it better trading the index options. They're more consistent, more reliable, and I have better success with them. Higher liquidity, and they're always there. All right, so it's easier for me. So I like the index options. All right, so let's move this out of the way. Hey, good morning, Alan. All right, so here's SPY. Let's take a look at what happened with SPY yesterday. Okay, we had a continuation of our 10-minute uptrend right here. So we traded 10-minute uptrend. All right, we made some money on the 10-minute uptrend up here. We had a pullback underneath VWAP. We really didn't break the rubber band candle till we got right here. And then, of course, we hit the uptrend line, okay, only to reverse all the way back up to VWAP. And then at the end of the day, let me just say this. I don't know what happened, but bulls showed up at the end of the day like window dressing, okay? And just rallied price back up over VWAP, okay, and higher. Actually up to almost to the highs of the day during the open market, okay? So that's what happened yesterday. Bulls showed up at the end of the day. I was wondering if that was going to happen. Notice it did happen the day before. That would be Friday. Nice rally back up to VWAP and higher. Okay, notice this kind of continued to happen on the day before that. That would be Thursday. Okay, see that rally? See that big green candle? So, we were still bullish, all right? We're still bullish. The only thing that spooks me is the breadth, all right? That's kind of dipping lower and lower and lower and lower, okay? But there's SPY. Nice price action yesterday. Not nice, but just kind of so-so, like, nah, like that. Because it wasn't like the 10-minute trend lasted for a long time. It took it a while to develop, a lot of consolidation right through here, and then when you finally got it, I was picking off the bottom to take it back up to this area up here. So we'll see what happens. Let's go take a look at the pre-market. All right, see something with the pre-market on. All right, with the pre-market, we've got, well, I'm just going to call it like I see it. It's, for the most part, consolidation over prior consolidation. See if we get the boxes out. Okay, let's get the box. Okay, so for the most part, this would be, it's not going to work again. I don't know what this does. This is very finicky lately. It'll work, and then it doesn't work. And even when I start a new one, get this, even when I start a new one, just before I start the video, I mean, there's still a snafu. I don't get it. It's no longer reliable. There it is. Okay. Okay, let's try it again. All right. So here's the afternoon price action right there. Okay. Okay. Here's the post-market price action right there. Okay. So that's bullish right there. That's bullish. That's like consolidation over consolidation. And then here's the pre-market price action. Okay, kind of same thing we had yesterday, right? Little consolidation over prior consolidation. That's bullish, all right, right there. That's bullish. Again, I'll be looking for another 10-minute uptrend. Hope it doesn't get cut short again, but I have to face the facts. It's over when it's over, all right? So when the 3 crosses the 8 on the 10-minute chart, it's done. So maybe short-lived again, okay? I was kind of expecting this 10-minute uptrend yesterday to last till 12:30. Let me see how long it lasted. It lasted till 11:40. And then it started to do a little melt, and then there's 12:10, and then that's it. Then after 12:10, we crossed the VWAP. All right, so there we go. We've got a little bit of bullish price action happening here. So I like that. That's promising for the bulls this morning. Okay, so we'll see what happens. All right, so again, consolidation. You can see price moves up to VWAP, under VWAP, over VWAP. See the little 10-minute downtrend, then a short-lived 10-minute uptrend right here. See the 3 over the 8 EMA, not much. And then it pops down under, and then it pops back up. Okay, so it's just a 1 candle trend at the end of the day for the most part. Not much going on there. Mostly just consolidation. But the bulls came in at the end of the day and bought the price up. Okay, all the way back up over VWAP. So nice move at the end of the day. I was wondering if that was going to happen, and it did. So we had little inverse head and shoulders here. This would be the head. Right shoulder, left shoulder. Looking for price to take it back up to the highs. Of course, where did it go? Right back up to the highs. Okay, in the morning, when the morning session up here. So there's SPY with that inverse head and shoulders, taking it up to yesterday's open market highs on SPY. All right, on the 2-hour chart, let's take a look at the 2. All right, you got the 3 EMA right up here. Things get finicky sometimes. Anyways, you get the 3 EMA up here. The 8 EMA is the white line. 3 is on top of the 8. Candles on top of the 3. Got a 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. On the daily chart, okay, inside day, higher, lower high, higher low, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17. Okay, that's still in an uptrend. Up near the highs, top of quadrant 4. That's bullish. And still in an uptrend. Nothing has been broken yet. So SPY still in an uptrend. Weekly chart, still in an uptrend. See the green dots? Okay, still in an uptrend there on the weekly chart. Monthly chart, still in an uptrend right there. See the green dots? Nothing's broken there. Okay, everything's still looking good. All right, so what's my favorite trade? 10-minute uptrend over VWAP. Inside, 2-hour uptrend. We have that today. We had that yesterday. Inside of the daily uptrend, inside of the weekly uptrend, inside of the monthly uptrend. See, I like it when it got all those bigger time frames supporting my little 10-minute uptrend. All right, so that's what I like. That's my favorite trade right now. Okay, not going to have that 6 months, 9 months from now. Right now, we're very fortunate to have that. 6, 9 months from now, one of these or maybe two of these, all right, bigger time frames, not going to be in an uptrend, probably be in a downtrend. On my weekly, monthly charts, what are the green dots? 17 EMA. Same thing, 3, the 8, and the 17. Trendicator, that's what Rick calls it. Doug calls it Trendinator. All right? You heard me right? 17 EMA, Robert. You guys can hear me, right? Yeah, okay, good. All right, so there's SPY. All right, let's take a look at the game plan. You know what happened last night? I don't know what happened, but my game plan got all erased. All my stats for the game plan got erased. So I had to rewrite them all first thing this morning. Like, who does that? Like, what's going on there? Like, not fun at all. Okay, so that's what I woke up to this morning. Not nice. Not nice. The tech gods were playing tricks on me. All right, so this is the SPY game plan for today. Okay, I like 3 days and 10 days till expiration. Friday options on the multiple of 5 with strikes, $2 to $15 out of the money. I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. We have a green erases red entry over 649.45. We have the pivot at 648.35. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. We have a red erases green entry underneath 647.35. We'll see what today produces. I do see bullish consolidation over prior consolidation. So my outlook is bullish for this morning. We'll see how far they can hold it off. By the way, yesterday, this is the price action. The bears failed to fill the gap by 1 penny. All right, that's a clue going into today, because that gap fill attempt occurred at 2 p.m. All right, so there's a good chance we got another 10-minute uptrend. How far it goes, I don't know. Yesterday's was very short-lived. Okay, maybe today's will be a little bit better, maybe a little bit longer. Hopefully, we'll see. But anyways, they failed to fill gap by 1 penny. All right, that kind of showed us the bulls were still on the field, ready to play ball. All right, so just saying, that's where we're at. Okay, they failed to fill gap by 1 penny. That's a SPY. That's a SPY game plan. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, see what they got for a game plan. All right, QQQ game plan. Pull this in, move this over. All right, QQQ game plan, 579.40. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Got a green erases red. Okay, over 580.70. That's a green erases red entry. Price over 580.70. All right, red erases green entry. All right, and if I do get that, be looking for the gap fill down here. Red erases green entry under 577.95. That's QQQ game plan. All right. So there's QQQ. Let's take a look at this on the daily chart. And we'll look at it right here. Okay. Notice QQQ, another inside day. Okay. Lower high, higher low, closing over the bullish trap. Over the 17 EMA again, up at the top of quadrant 4. Okay. Top of quadrant 4, still in an uptrend, still bullish. See what I'm saying, traders? Markets are still bullish. Okay, QQQ, SPY, still bullish up there. KFNGU. KFNGU puts in, look at this, new all-time high yesterday. Okay, drop the mic. It doesn't get any better than this. Okay, diamond down. Inside day. Higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high, closing over bullish trap, over rising 17, top of quadrant 4, still in an uptrend. Still bullish there on Diamond Dow. What's left? The only one left here now is IWM. Let's check it out. All right, check it out. Okay, so inside day, same as the others. Lower high, higher low, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17. Parking up here in the middle of quadrant 4, that's bullish. Anything in the upper third of the quad lines is bullish for me, okay? And still in an uptrend, okay? Hasn't made any lower lows. All right, so markets, see that? IWM's in an uptrend, still bullish, all right? Diamond Dow, still bullish and in an uptrend. SPY and QQQ, still bullish and in an uptrend. And FNGU puts in a new all-time high. Hey, can't get any better than that. Let's take a look at gold and silver. All right, here's gold putting in a new all-time high. This is yesterday's candle right there, okay? Again, it doesn't get any better. Remember what I said right there. See this? This back and forth, holding the plank up here. They're winding up for a good-sized move. And I said, probably pretty close to 350. Well, look at this, traders. We're getting there, all right? 336 today. Okay, another new all-time high today. New all-time high yesterday, okay? Look how vertical that thing is, okay? Gold, new all-time high. Let's take a look at silver. Silver, new 12-year high, probably a 13-year high. Let's check it out. Okay, let's check it out. Got to pull up the monthly chart. It's so far back. Let's move this over. All right, there's, okay, that's a 12-year high, 2013, right? Now, see, I was born in the 1900s, so it's hard for me sometimes to make the transition. It's been 25 years, still trying to figure it out, okay? Okay, so there's a 13-year high, okay? We're in 2025. This is 2012. All right, and how far back? Not quite. Okay, so 13-year high right there. Okay, see 2012, 13-year high. Okay, so now we're in the 13-year high. If they take over this one right here, this 42.85, that's the next pit stop. All right, or benchmark. Okay, that will be the 14-year high. Okay, and then of course up here, up over 48.50, that will be the all-time high. Okay, so 14-year high coming up. All right, right here, coming up right over 42.85. All right, so there's silver. All right, not very often you have to do this. Okay, not very often. Anyways, let's go back to USO. All right, here's USO. Again, USO got a habit of moving up, giving it up. See how it moves up into the bullish quadrant 4, just gives it up, okay? Goes up, does the same thing again, just gives it up, okay? Goes up, gives it up, okay? So this is just neutral. It's not bearish because it keeps giving it up. It's just that it just can't hold the higher ground. And that's why I point this out every time I see price move up and hold the higher ground. I'm saying you got something special going on right there, okay? Because you just take a look at USO, see how the struggles that it has to hold the higher ground, okay? So when you see that happening, you've got something to trade when you see price do that, okay? So there's USO. Yesterday, higher low, higher high, closing under a bearish trap, under the 17 EMA, on the bullish side of neutrality. Okay, so right there, again, in a downtrend because it made a lower low. All right, so downtrend but still neutral right there. UNG. All right, UNG put in higher low, higher high, closing over bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Okay, down here at the bottom, which gives me in the middle of quadrant 1. So that's bearish because it's in the lower third. All right, and you're still in a downtrend. Okay, you got to make a higher high. This would be the first high over the 17 to take out, is right there. Okay, if they can top that, they can negate the downtrend. Right now, they're in a downtrend that's not moving down. It's having a pullback, okay? And that can happen, all right? And this could go on for a month. I'm just saying, all right? This pullback may go on for a month while they challenge this high. We'll see what happens, okay? More than likely, price is going to see this valley between two peaks. Right there, you see the bottom of that. I think there's a high probability price goes up and tags that soon, all right? Pretty soon. That 1394. Anytime you see a valley between two peaks, it will most often be a target. The same thing with a peak between two valleys. It will almost always be a target in the near future, and even in the beyond future. Okay, so there's UNG. Let's take a look at the economic data. Start with the dollar. Okay, again, the consumer in us, a weak dollar makes all the goods and services that we need around our houses, our residences, or our properties, okay? It makes it more expensive, okay? All right, so a weak dollar is not very good for us, for the consumer, but for the investor in us, this opens up new markets, all right? And it gives us a better chance of having a global presence in the global markets because our dollar is weaker, and when the dollar is weaker, it doesn't cost foreign countries as much of their currency to purchase our goods and services, okay? So having a weak dollar is a good thing for the investment community, okay? For the consumers, no, not so much. All right, so if you see a weak dollar, this is great for GDP. Notice GDP was 3.0 like last time they reported, okay? Like to see it up 3.5, maybe 4.0. Okay? I think the last time this president was the president, he had some pretty nice quarters for GDP. Okay? He's very business orientated. Okay? Fails at some other stuff, but he's very business orientated, which helps companies. And hey, let's face it, when companies are selling goods and services, they need people to be employed. They need workers to make it all happen, okay? And that's good when the country is fully employed or almost fully employed. So here's the candle for yesterday, okay? About 97.44 right there is where price closed. It's at the bottom of a red candle, all right? So we close right there, 97.44. Still in a bear flag, okay? So if we take a look at this, put the line on there, okay? Price comes down, and for the most part, over to the right. See, like that? That would be a bear flag, okay? So it's building out a platform from which to maybe drop lower. Maybe. We'll see what happens, okay? But that's what we got. Most bear flags do this, okay? So we'll see what happens. So we're in a bear flag. We got caught under major resistance right there. Actually, major support. This was major support when we were above it. It's all the valleys, okay? And notice we broke through major support. We came back, tested it. We tried to consolidate over it, and we failed. So we're back underneath it. It's still in a downtrend, in a bear flag underneath. Major support now becomes minor resistance right there, okay? Economic data, what do we got? Okay, so the headline, 8:30 on Thursday, a.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay, CPI data is going to be released. Okay, today, not much going on. Tomorrow, PPI final demand, 8:30, wholesale inventories, 10 o'clock, Petroleum report 10:30, and that's it. Light day. Really light week. If they, whatever direction they're going on Monday, probably going to continue Tuesday and Wednesday. Most likely, okay? Thursday, CPI 8:30 in the morning. Jobless claims 8:30. Gas report, natural gas report, okay? 10:30 in the morning, okay? And then that's it. All right, on Friday, consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock and a rig count at 1. Okay, so really light week. All right, CPI is probably going to bounce a little bit. Remember, all right, those tariffs are starting to kick in. All right, so, but it's going to be like a one-time artificial inflation. It's artificial because it was, well, it's all man-made, but for the most part, this was government intervention into the business sector. All right, that's what happened there. That's what causes this inflation. All right, it was not caused by natural economic supply and demand forces. Okay, this was actually it dropped in, all right, like a bomb, all right, from up above as a tariff. All right, so it's a little bit different. All right, so this may bump up a little bit. We'll see what happens. I don't know how the market's going to read it. All right, it might be a reason for them to dump, even though it's whatever number comes in. And I'm expecting it to be a little hot. And that's because of the tariffs, okay? So get ready for a possible dip, maybe a hard dip. All right, just get ready for it. They might use it as a means for the dip. All right, CPI on Thursday. Okay, so just saying, it's probably going to be a little bit hot. All right. All right, so there's economic data. Earnings, what do we got? Let's go to Tuesday. We got Oracle's going to report after the close, $626 billion. Okay, that's a big one. Okay, not quite a market mover right there. Okay, but still good size. That's a respectable company. That's over half a trillion, 2/3 of a trillion there, just about. Okay, so that's definitely rock and roll the tech sector. Okay, after it reports, if it's good or bad. All right, if it's in line, probably just stay copacetic right where it's at. Okay, that happens tonight after the close. Okay, everybody else, Core and Main. All right, everybody else just familiar names. GameStop. Okay, Corn Ferry. All right, all of them. All right, Rubric. Okay, so again, familiar names, not market movers. Okay, Wednesday. Okay. Again, familiar names. Chewy, you've heard of Chewy, right? Okay, so Compass Diversified, all right? Again, all familiar names, but not market movers, okay? Thursday, Adobe, 148 billion, okay? Tech, but not really a market mover, okay? Not really enough capital there to move the markets, okay? Friday, again, more familiar names, nothing market moving on Friday. Okay, so the main event's going to be CPI, all right, on Thursday. And I don't know if the market's looking for any reason to dump, but it should be hot, all right, based on the tariffs. How they react to it will be interesting. I think they will use it for an excuse to put in a harsh pullback, all right? Just saying, all right? We'll see what happens. Okay, so be ready for that. All right. Max Payne for today, 647. All right, 647's Max Payne for SPY options. Put to call ratio, about 1.2. All right, 1.2 puts for each call. Remember those index options, it will expire today at 4:15. Okay? All right, that's it for me. Let me get this video out here. I'll see you guys in about 35, 40 minutes. All right. And we will record the market again. We had a good day yesterday. We've been having good days now for the last 2 or 3, last couple of weeks anyways. And I've been recording them. And you guys know where they are in the recording section. So We'll see what happens here. Hope we can print another good day. Okay, the markets are bullish right now. Okay, so things are looking good, but the breadth. Oh, we did not take a look at the. Let's run through this quick. Okay, let's take a look at the internals or the technicals. Okay, market breadth. Okay, market breadth dropping. Okay, the last time it was this low was the reversal for the April low. Okay, let me see if I can get us out that far. Okay, I'll go to the 2 hour. Okay, so here's the April March low right here. Well, April. Okay, remember the rally started in April, like right here. Okay, so April, March, right here, that was the low. All right, and then then we rallied off to begin new highs. All right, now this is the high of it. Okay, so we'll see if we're going to get a change in direction. All right, I think we got a little bit lower to go in the T2101, the market breadth. All right, which could take us till Thursday. All right, which would be about the same day that CPI reports. All right, because if it keeps dropping at the rate that it's dropping, we could see a reversal on Thursday or Friday. We could possibly. All right, so still moving higher. That's what I think. That's what I'm reading from this. And I'm looking at how low it's been in the past on the T2101. Okay. All right, T2122. Okay, yesterday I thought we would have been in the overbought zone. We were not there at all. We wound up dipping into the buyer's chop zone. Okay, we stayed above the midfield, okay, the 50-yard line, half court, midfield, okay, and chopped around inside the buyer's chop zone. No appearance made in the buy zone or the overbought zone. We just went airborne like they gave us the boot. All right, and we wound up landing in the buy zone, making a higher low. Okay, not really any higher highs, equal highs right there. T2123. Okay, remember, not yesterday, but the day before was a new rally high. Yesterday, consolidation over prior consolidation. That's bullish. All right, but no new rally high. Okay, and no new all-time high. Okay, still bullish up here. Okay, so the markets are still bullish. See that? Still consolidation over prior consolidation on the 15-minute chart. Still in an uptrend and still bullish. Okay, up over the 200 SMA. On the 3-bar. Okay, again, the new all-time high was made the day before. Yesterday, just more consolidation over prior consolidation, leaning on the all-time high near the end of the day. T2123 3-bar. Up over the 200 SMA, back out, top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, okay, and still in an uptrend. Okay, so there's T2123. FNGU, look at the consolidation over the prior day's price action, that is bullish. Time to go up, hold the plank, hold the chin up, that's a sign of strength. Okay, 6.5 hour chin up there, okay, that's a long time. That's a show of strength. That's bullish. So I'm saying, I still think we got more highs to make. All right, we're not done making highs. Don't know how high we're gonna go, but I'm just saying we got more highs. It looks like we got more highs on deck. Again, post pre-market consolidation, consolidating over the post market. That's bullish. Okay, look at yesterday's gap up. That's a bullish gap up. And look, bears never even came close to filling the gap. Okay, another sign of more bullishness up over the 200 SMA, bullish. Okay, so this is the Mac Daddy. This is the one to watch. Okay, especially if you're going to trade QQQ and SPY, because this has got 10 of the most heavily weighted securities. All right, and when those 10 move as a pack, okay, they can drag those indexes right alongside with them. All right, so. Nice move up there at the highs, okay? FNGU, and looking, I got to say, looking higher with the consolidation today, up over that morning consolidation over the post market from yesterday. So that's looking good. All right, I'll see you guys in about 35, 40 minutes.